Hello, John. Nice
Hello.
to meet you tonight.
Yeah, good to see you again. How are you?
I am good. John, let me introduce you to our audience. First,
Hmm.
I'm Laura Aziz. I'm the founder of Meva Solutions, and Accelerate Your Success is my purpose in this life and in this business. I help solopreneurs and small businesses achieve success. That's a big mission that I have for my business, and I know we have been speaking about that, and that's also what drives you.
Hmm.
So today, as we talk with Jon Arentz, Jon is the creator of the Business Freedom Formula. That's your company,
Hmm.
a system designed to transform owner-dependent companies into scalable, exit-ready business.
That's
I
correct.
like I like that, but can
Mhm.
you say it in layman's language? I feel like
Okay.
what
Um,
you really do.
well, it's about creating systems within an existing business
Mhm,
so that it does not require the owner or the founders to be as deeply involved as they have been.
mhm,
Because ultimately, if you want to exit that business, whether it's because you're retiring
mhm,
or you've decided you want to sell the business, and either way, you're selling the business, somebody who's going to buy the business
mhm.
does not want to buy a 60-hour-a-week job.
Right.
Okay. They want a business that works, that's consistent,
Mhm,
that you can demonstrate and show them that it works with minimal owner input.
right. Right.
And so too many small businesses
Mhm.
are not built that way. The
Yeah.
owner or the founder is so deeply ingrained in the everyday
Mhm,
operation. And a lot of them don't know how to let go,
mhm. Yeah.
um, are fearful of letting go, or, and I've run into a few people that just won't let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like owning the business, but not operating the business. Like
Right.
remove,
Right.
like as an owner, remove yourself from the day-to-day operations
Sure.
and either have in good systems. And today,
Hmm.
with the use of AI, some of these systems can be optimized, or
Certainly.
have the right people, right staff that
Hmm.
can run the business, and you can go on vacation.
Right. Because, and let's face it, a lot of small business owners don't
Mhm.
even know what the word vacation means.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's been, you ask them when was the last time they were on vacation, and they can't tell you.
Yeah.
And they don't have any plans to go because if they leave their business alone, how's it going to work? How's it going to run?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So then the question then becomes, and I know this rubs some people the wrong way, but here's the real question. Do you have
Mhm.
a business or do you have a job?
Yes.
Did
Yes.
you trade in one job for another job with
Right.
more headaches?
That's
You know,
true. That's true. We'll
you
talk more about that as we continue our discussion here, but I just
know.
wanted to simplify the definition so everyone can understand
Mhm,
what your goal is from the business freedom formula.
mhm.
So John, what inspired you to build that
Well,
business? Mhm,
what inspired me a lot was I talked to business owners, some that I knew from other
mhm,
interactions with other work I had done in the past. And these were people that were working long hours and not taking a lot of time off.
mhm,
That they felt that they couldn't let go. They couldn't deviate anything. They couldn't delegate anything. Um, and they were missing things like their daughter's dance recital or their
yeah,
children's
mhm,
sporting events or school things because they were so busy at work at the
mhm,
business
yeah,
that they were missing out on life.
on
And
life events, yeah,
right.
not,
And I raised four children and I went to a lot of events, and I know how important they are, not only to me, but they're really important to the children who want their parents there. And
yes,
if you can't be there, so that was a lot of
yeah,
my inspiration, and the fact that when I talked to some of these people, I realized there was so much potential in their business that was not getting fulfilled
Yeah.
because they were the bottleneck of the
That's a very
business.
good one.
Mhm.
The image of the bottleneck, and I had recently read that same description that the
Mhm.
problem is always with the head because that's
Right,
where the
right.
bottleneck.
That's right. That's right. You know,
Yeah,
um
yeah,
if you have to do everything,
yeah.
you only have so many hours in a day, only so much is going to get done.
Right. John, what makes you unique? I know you told me that you have some information systems background and you've been
Mhm.
in the industry for some time, but in your own words, kind of what makes you unique?
Um, I think a couple of things. One is I have kind of a systems type view of
Mhm,
looking at something, breaking it down into simple components, and say let's do this and let's do this and let's do this,
mhm,
and get the thing into a nice flowing system. The other thing is part of what I do is I want to work with you. I don't want to do it for you.
uh,
I want to do it with you. Because part of the deal here is if I can help you fix one problem,
mhm,
I've given you tools and skills to fix other problems.
mhm,
You may not need me,
mhm,
but you may want me, especially if it worked well and we got along. The other thing I think I do that is very different from most people is I like to build relationships with the
mhm.
people I work with. It's, as I've told people, I said, I want the kind of relationship where you invite me to your child's wedding,
Wow.
okay? Because don't want this just to be I show up, help you with something,
Mhm.
you pay me, and that's the end of it. Because it's too easy to put people together
Yeah,
and help build everybody. And
that's
I'm a
very
really a
good. Yeah.
people person,
Yeah.
and I actually love to help people, but also train people. So
Yeah.
there's always a little bit of school involved in anything I do
Right,
because I
right. Yeah,
teach people
training,
how to do
definitely.
things. So
So they can do the work when you're not there. But I like
if they
relationships. I
need
think,
to,
yeah,
yeah.
relationships is a big thing. Like many
Mhm.
people, especially in bigger companies, and if they are technical, they like to do the technical aspects of it
Mhm.
and sit in their office and work on the computer and not build relationships. And then they discover, oh, how am I going to grow? Like I want to become a senior leader. And then
Sure.
they are told, like you need to network, you need to build relationships. And a lot of my time I spend in coaching on building relationships, and we look at it from three perspectives, like
Okay.
building the relationship, maintaining the relationship because it's
Hmm.
not like a one-time thing,
Right.
and then leveraging it. So like
Mhm.
being of help and asking for help, like a
Right.
give and take, like
Mhm.
to be relatable and serve, help people
Mhm.
that you build the relationship with, but also ask for help when not shy away from that.
Yes.
And they say that men are better at it than women. So that's kind of part
Oh,
of my
well,
my interest in it. For me, like I knew that this is something I had to learn how to do in my consulting business. Like it wasn't just enough to give my client what they need, but I needed to know who are the key players that I have to
Mhm.
build, maintain, and leverage the relationship.
Mhm.
And then I discovered that many of my clients, I've been coaching for 5 years, and many have this big question like, I move from senior manager to director. I don't want to move from director to VP. And they
Mhm.
tell me that I need to kind of work on my relationships, especially horizontal relationships across the
Right.
organization.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's a very important element here. Thank you for sharing. Who
The,
is your ideal client? Like, if the world is so big and
um,
billions of
well,
people, who would
well,
you like to work
my
with?
ideal client, my ideal client is an owner who feels overwhelmed,
Mhm.
like they wear too many hats. They're
Mm,
not getting enough done. And this to me is the most important piece. They
mm.
have to want to make changes.
Ah, They have to want.
It's like anything in life. I can't
Yeah.
make you want to do something.
Yes,
You have to want to do it, and I can support you.
I like
So
that.
you have to want to look at your business and say, this needs to work better.
Yes,
You
I
know?
like that. Creating, knowing the awareness that there is something not working right. They are
Right.
gonna
Right.
lose themselves in it, or sometimes lose the family, because if they are not available for their kids and their
Mhm.
spouse, they will run into issues at home as well.
Sure.
But wanted is the desire to
Hmm.
change, and in
Yeah.
any change, it will not be successful without a desire, wanting
Sure.
to change.
And I look at this as like, let's say that you've got an individual who's been working a lot of long hours,
Mhm.
and we get some systems in place, and say 3 years from now, things are humming along, and maybe you're putting 20 hours a week in at work. And then you get this idea for another business.
Mm.
Guess what? You have the time,
Mhm.
and you already know what kind of systems you need to put in place,
Mhm.
and building that second business,
Yeah.
even if it's just creating another copy of what you're doing in another location,
Mhm.
is already there.
Yeah.
It becomes easier once you've learned to do it.
Like
Or,
having a template, kind of.
right, right.
Mhm. Right.
And
Um,
also, if you're doing this well
mhm.
and you're going along, your peers will notice.
Yeah.
And then your success as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is going to attract
Yeah.
other people, because successful people want to work with other successful people.
Exactly. And that's a very important point that you raise here, John. We sometimes call it like to raise your visibility and raise your
Mm-hmm.
profile, you need the thought leadership. Like you need
Yes.
to write a blog, you need to do a podcast, like an owner of a business or even a senior executive in a company, they need to talk more about what they do
Mm-hmm.
and share their knowledge
Mm-hmm.
in thought leadership articles to be known
Sure.
and connect with the right-minded individuals, to support them to grow, to do more business, to do build relationships across the industry.
Right. Because it's amazing the people that you meet
Yeah.
when you just talk to people.
Yeah, yeah. Like me and you, we
It's
met on Facebook, right?
Yes. Yes, we did. Yeah.
That
And we
was you.
had
I think you
conversations.
posted something and I commented on it, and then we
Right.
started talking. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've met
Yeah.
many interesting people that way.
That's amazing. Yeah, I kind of get lost on Facebook sometimes because there are so many people from all walks of life. I heard
Mhm.
that if you're part of a group, like joining groups works better on big platforms.
It does. I have found if you find a group that interests you, that
Mhm.
the interest, and you join that group, or you pay attention to that group to see
Yeah,
what's going on. One of the, and if you find it within your area and you find that people interact, then you can post things, you can ask questions, people will give you
yeah,
feedback, and
yeah.
it's
It,
it can be good support. But again, like anything in life,
yeah,
you have to kind of look at where they're coming from. Does it look like, if you see the same person posting the same kind of thing, maybe they've got this agenda of
yeah,
their own that doesn't really fit with what you're
right.
trying to do. So you have to be careful, but
Yeah.
you know,
So I'm always surprised at how, in spite of all the noise, you can sometimes connect with people and it becomes a
mhm,
very positive connection, very positive
sure.
relationship. So what we talked about what you offer,
Hmm.
the problems, like do you want to talk again in a maybe concise way, the problems that you primarily solve and then what results your clients would expect to see?
Well, okay. for example, one of the easiest things to if you will fix is a lot of owners deal with a lot of things like, let's say that the first thing you do in the morning is you come in and you deal with your email.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, is that something that you could delegate?
Oh.
Okay. Can we break emails down into, inquiries, important, critical? Okay. And only the critical ones end up on your desk.
Okay.
Okay. The routine ones, somebody can answer those.
So
Okay.
kind of sending the email, triaging emails
Right.
to
Exactly.
direct reports,
Even
or
if
if you
it's
have an
nothing,
admin
yeah.
assistant kind.
Right.
I
If
like
you've got
that.
an admin assistant who can deal with a lot of this and they kind of know what's going on, we can do that. And that could free up.
Yeah.
Not only does it free up maybe hours a day, depending on how much you get, but it also frees your mind up from the clutter of all of this.
Yeah.
Because you've answered the same question 12 times today.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, let's face it, sometimes that happens. So part of it is, the idea is to build these things around what you're doing. And I'm not really talking about like physical systems like machinery.
Oh.
And I'm not even in many ways talking about software systems where you have to go out and buy computers and a lot of software.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is, how do
Process, I
we
think.
do this? It's a process.
Process, yeah.
Okay? How do we deal with this? And here's the thing that really surprises me is a lot of times I'll ask, and maybe it's the expression I use that catches them off guard, but I'll ask them, what is your oops policy?
Oh.
And they'll look at me with blank eyes and I'll say, what is your policy for dealing with a customer when things go wrong?
Right, right.
Because
Yeah,
sooner or later they will.
right. That's a
How
very
are
good
you
point.
going to deal with that? What's in place? Are you going to now do this by the seat of your pants and the next one that comes in, you're going to do differently?
Yeah.
Because customers understand that there are going to be problems.
Yeah.
Okay. We all do. We've all experienced that. It's how you react and how quickly you make them whole that is so important.
Like working with client success managers, I think there is this position, like not just have the owner address all
Right.
these issues, but have someone on their team to look into it. Maybe some of it can be AI. Do you think AI,
Well, it could if you're
agentic
doing
AI
it,
can help?
using a chat bot or something like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, it's kind of like, let's just kind of use like a well, let's use like an e-commerce store. I order something, I send it, you send it to me, I open the box, it's not what I ordered.
No.
Okay. So I should be able to go online and say, hey, this was my order number. What's in the box is this. What I ordered was this. And then it should be a very definitive how they're going to handle that. I
Right.
shouldn't need to make 12 phone calls.
Yeah.
And having done tech support myself in the software environment
You've
and
seen
worked
it
with many
firsthand.
people, sometimes under extremely stressful situations, it's how you treat people and having the response and not having to bounce them from person to person to
Right.
person.
It's very annoying when you call
Right.
customer support and
Right.
they start
And
playing.
now, and part of what this requires, though, is if you're going to have your frontline people deal with this, you have to empower them to make
Empowering.
certain decisions.
Love that. Yeah.
Okay. And if they make a bad decision,
It's a learning
it's
lesson.
learning.
Yeah.
You roll with it, and then you sit down with the employee and say, this is why we don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You don't yell and scream at them in front of the customer because they made a
Right.
mistake. You deal with it and move on, because sooner or later, nobody is going to step up and take responsibility for anything.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Yeah,
how
I
you
like
deal
that.
with these that.
So that's kind of for not very small businesses. That's for like maybe from 10 to 50 kind of companies.
Yeah. And
Right.
and some of it could be a brick and mortar company. Some of it could be, a more of a service company.
Yeah.
Because if you do things, in a service way, like let's say that you're an insurance broker. Okay. How do you deal with the inquiries from your
Yeah.
customers? How do you onboard a new customer? What is the process to make sure you
Mhm.
have everything you
Right.
need? How do you handle a call?
That's a very good
Okay.
one.
How do you answer the phone?
And some of this stuff today can be done by a chatbot. I mean, that,
Sure, some of it can be,
yeah.
and there's a piece of software out there now that basically can create an assistant that actually talks and answers questions like you're talking to a real human being.
Like a clone. You can do your
Like a
clone.
yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah.
To the
The
point
owner
where,
clone.
so
Yeah.
you've got these things now that will make some of this easier to
Yeah.
do, but you have to take the time to sit down and say, how are we going to deal with this?
Yeah. I think it's the intro work to get a clone or
Mhm.
create a clone or train a bot. You have
Mhm.
to have the process clear. You cannot
Mhm.
build an automation on a bad process. And then you have to have the knowledge base that because you
Sure,
need to give the bot, train the bot on how to answer the questions. So
sure.
that's, I think, part of maybe some of the overwhelm that
Mhm.
people experience when they know that if down the road there will be benefits, but there is some extra work that needs to happen
Right.
now.
And in anything we do as human beings,
Yeah.
change is hard. Change is difficult.
Yes.
It's everybody wants change, but
Yeah.
everybody's afraid of it because we don't know what that change will bring.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Let
so going back to the question
Yeah.
is the idea is to just to document what we do. And I don't mean to the nth degree.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we do. This is how it gets done so that the advantage here is I hire a new employee,
Mhm.
okay, and I can say to the employee, okay, here's the process for doing what I want, for this
Mhm.
job. So if you ever have a question, you can go pull down this book and look, or pull
Yeah.
it up on your phone, or, it doesn't have to be hard copy, but I'm going to use the hard copy analogy because
Yeah.
I think everybody can appreciate
It's
that.
easier.
Is you go down and say, okay, this is how I do it. Oh, that's the step I missed. That's
Mhm.
why it's not working. Okay, let me go back. So it makes training the next person that much easier.
Yeah. There are many tools today, actually, whether it's in training or onboarding with the
Mhm.
voice activation and
Mhm.
getting it recorded and transcribed.
Mhm.
So since we are obviously weaving AI into the discussion because it's the elephant in the room. We cannot ignore
Mhm.
what AI can do
Right.
today. And to reduce the overwhelm, like if you're training one person and you record that training, then you
Yes,
have it for the
you
future.
have it.
Like,
Yes.
yeah,
And I think that um, in a lot of businesses, especially smaller businesses, they don't take the time to do that.
yeah,
Maybe they don't feel they have the resources. I mean, 30 years ago, buying a video camera to record a training was an expensive thing.
yeah,
Now you
yeah,
can do it off of your phone.
right,
Okay. So those limitations are gone.
yeah,
It's taking the time to do it.
yeah. And
And
I think the vision that like
Mhm.
having that perspective that it
Mhm.
doesn't like I can improve myself, I can improve my
Mhm.
company by using some of the newer technology
Mhm.
versus being afraid of technology
Mhm.
and just staying stuck.
And
I
then,
think, yeah, stuck
and
was
then,
one of the things we wanted to talk about.
yeah.
Like,
And
if someone watching our discussion today and
Mhm.
feel stuck,
Mhm.
what can they do? What would you tell them, John?
Well, okay, if you feel stuck, I think the first thing I would would recommend to somebody is talk to somebody else and tell them why you're stuck and where you think you are. And I will tell you
Mm.
why. You could talk to someone who knows absolutely nothing about what you're doing. And that's even
Yeah,
better. And I'll tell you why that is. Because now you have to explain it at a level that they will understand.
yeah,
And when you do that,
mhm,
you will be amazed at the enlightenment you get because
yeah,
you've just solved your own problem.
right.
This reminds me of something I heard about, a company that had a product that was not working like it was supposed to. So they brought in this like consulting group to help them figure it out.
Yeah.
And so one of the members of the group said, look, we're going to get all the top technicians and the people who know this product. We're going to get them in a room and we're going to hash out what the problem is. Sounds reasonable, right? Another member of the team grabbed administrative staff, people who knew nothing about the product or the process.
Yeah.
Got them in a room, explained the problem. I guess somebody else came in who could answer detailed questions.
Yeah.
That group of people came to a conclusion faster than all of the people who knew what they were talking about.
Right.
And I think that's because you had to break it down.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a cognitive bias.
Yes.
Getting in the way. So that's why I recommend talking to somebody who doesn't know what you're doing.
Right. I like
you have to break that down a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Avoiding the cognitive bias or the confirmation bias, that's how we do it all the time. That's
right.
But also what I like in what you said is the operations improvement, using these cross-functional teams. Actually, that was something, I think that's based on Deming and some of the quality measures from, that's long time ago. I was part of an operations improvement project at the University of Illinois. It was very early on when I was still a graduate student. And the teams were like bringing people from all different parts of the hospital that they knew nothing about. Not everybody completely knew the problem. And you get into that situation where different people trained with different processes and different ways of analysis would bring to bear on a problem and come up with a solution.
Sure.
Not just give it to the experts,
Right. And in reality, it's just a form of brainstorming, throwing out ideas and see what sticks.
Yeah.
See what works, see what doesn't work. And that's,
I
think very, very important. So I would stress that talk it out as to what it is, and you might get a solution, or you might realize, okay, here's the problem. Now I know what I need to go to work on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is this something that you can handle on your own, or is this something that you're going to need some help with? Is this something you're going to need some expert help with? Now you kind of know which direction to go. I think sometimes you feel overwhelmed if you take a look at your business as a whole. I'll give you another analogy. You had children, right?
Yes.
I had children. So here's the problem. Boys, go clean up your room. Right? And it's not getting done.
Yeah.
So then my wife says to them one day, she goes, boys, I want you to clean your room. I want you to make your bed. Just go make your bed. So they made the bed. All right, now pick up all your stuffed animals and throw them on your bed. Okay. Now find all your dirty clothes, get them the right way out, and get them in the laundry. Well, you're chipping away at the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Breaking it down into smaller pieces. Yeah.
Right. So this analogy is that you can be overwhelmed by all of this. Well, pick a problem.
Yeah.
Pick something that you can get an early success on. Something easy. Something that gets done.
The low-hanging fruit.
Get the low-hanging fruit because you're going to develop skills.
Yeah.
So when you tackle that big one that's there.
Yes.
That maybe you don't even know is there yet, because all this other stuff is in the way.
Yeah.
And you can do this, and as you knock those things out, your feeling of accomplishment is going to get bigger, and you're going to see the results in your business.
Yeah, I love it. No, that's great perspective. So you bring in the process perspective, the systematizing perspective, and then layering it with AI agents, chatbots, or a clone. So these are like the portfolio of things you can help your customer with. That's kind of your
and I know that AI seems like a scary thing, but I want to point something out that not everybody is. First of all, everybody thinks AI just broke on the horizon like in the last 2 years.
Yes.
AI has been around for a long, long time.
Yes,
And to be honest with you, you've been using it and didn't even know it.
right. That's a
If
very
you
good
ever go
point.
out to it, if you ever go out to your browser and search for something,
Yeah,
you're using an AI, not as
right.
sophisticated as, say, Claude or
Yeah,
ChatGPT or some of the others, but it is an AI, and you've been
mhm.
using it, you've been comfortable with it.
Yes. And Alexa, all the voice
Alexa,
activation,
yeah,
Alexa and Siri,
yeah,
and yeah,
yeah. Those are really, yeah, those are
yeah,
other AI agents, and you use them every day, and you don't even
yeah,
think about it.
yeah. It just became, I think, mainstream in a way
Mhm.
when OpenAI made more tools available to the public, like
Sure.
free and available to the public. It the dynamics changed. And then
Mhm.
the ability now for the like a generative AI to engage with you in a discussion.
Sure.
And so there is like an acceleration point that happened with
Right.
OpenAI, and then all the other caught up with it,
Mhm.
like
Sure.
to compete.
Sure.
Uh,
But it frees you from a lot of
yeah,
the drudgery.
yeah.
I
I was
mean,
in a group working with a group over the last few days on using AI agentic AI.
mhm,
And it is fascinating actually when you create an agent and you can give it access to your calendar, you can give it access to email, you can give
mhm,
access to your drive, like Google Drive. Obviously, if there is any confidential or information that you may need to create a separate drive where
mhm.
AI can access it. It can do a lot for you, kind of help you with lots of your work, streamlining your work.
Yeah, it can. And
Mhm.
that takes a lot of time. It the thing is not everything can be automated and probably
Yeah.
not everything should be automated.
Yeah.
But we can automate the things that take a lot of time that are repetitive,
Mhm.
don't require a lot of intellectual input
Yeah.
on an step by step everyday
Mhm.
kind of thing. Like you said, if I give it access to my calendar and my email
Mhm.
and certain files within this thing and I'm doing this stuff in the background,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a lot different than when the first computers came out and things were getting done and people
Yeah.
didn't even know it was getting done because it was
Yeah.
done in that big room over there with the air conditioning.
Yeah, I remember that. I
Yeah.
used to have to go when I started working at the university, when I came as a graduate student and I was offered a job. We couldn't print directly from the computer in our offices. I had to go to the main computer room and bring
Yes.
the printouts, these big printouts.
I,
It was like
yeah. Yeah.
we
I,
came
I
a long
remember
way
that.
from that time. Yes.
I remember that from my college days that
Mhm.
was the same kind of thing is that you had to go and get and it was always done in a batch mode, which means you had to wait every 30 minutes for it to run.
Yeah.
And then everybody
Yeah.
would get handed their printout and then you'd go fix it and then you'd have to run it again. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's very different than today where you can make the change on the fly and get things done and
Right.
so much more gets done. And yet it seems like we have more and more to do.
I think one mindset that helps is that the rate of change is going faster and it's
Hmm.
not going to stop.
No, it's not.
So for anybody who feels challenged, upset,
Hmm.
worried, it's just let's look at it. Let's change the channel. Let's like bring AI as a team member on the team.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
always, I think a good mindset here is that you are always the boss. You tell AI what you wanted
Hmm.
to do. You edit, you proofread, you tell it to do better. I think that's one thing that I also learned. I knew that you can always ask it to give you a different format, like make it more formal, make it
Right.
more professional, but just telling it do better, can you do better? It improves upon itself automatically.
Now, see, that is something I've never tried because I've had it write something and say, okay, write it in a more authoritative tone.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Or write it in a more laid back
yeah,
kind of tone. And it's amazing how it changes.
it does.
It does. But to just say do better,
Do better. Yeah, I learned that only this week.
that's just I'm gonna have fun with that now.
Give it a try
You
and
can do
let me
better than
know
that.
how it works for you.
That
Thank
should
you,
be a lot
John.
of fun.
That was really good. One last question. If
Certainly.
somebody wants to find you, wants to reach you and to ask for help or get feedback from you on a process they have at work, how can they find you?
Well, you can find me easiest by emailing me at Jon Arentz, as you can see on my name down there, Jon Arentz at valhallabusinesssolutions.com. That's all one word. And yes, business solutions ends up with 3 S's right there next to each other. I know it's a long email address, but it works.
Is
if you
easier, is there
prefer,
an easier way to reach you?
yeah, you could reach me at johnarntz@gmail.com.
Okay. And on social media, like where would somebody find you?
I'm on Facebook under my name. I also have Valhalla Business Solutions is I have a business page on my Facebook account.
Okay, Facebook
so
account.
I have that.
So, yeah. And it's the business is under your name. Like if they
Yes, it is.
search for your name, they will find you.
You search for my name, and then there is a business link there. I am currently revamping my website, but it would be valhallabusinesssolutions.com as soon as it's up and running again, which should be here within a week or so. So today is the 21st of November. So let's say somewhere around the 5th of December, it'll probably be up and running. I'm gonna give myself a break over the holiday for the Thanksgiving.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was a lovely interview, discussion.
Well, thank you for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
And I wish you all the best.
Well, thanks a lot, Laura. Appreciate it. Take care.
Bye-bye.